Step closer. The FDA endorses Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine. What's next, and just how effective is it really?
I just want to be outside, and when you're here, it's like,
Spring break vacay. Many Americans are ready for a trip. Experts weigh in on what's safe for a pandemic vacation.
Preserving history. The fight to save an old Cleveland building first founded by Mexican immigrants, and why the city wants to tear it down. Road to recovery. Legendary golfer Tiger Woods injured both his legs in a car crash yesterday. What doctors say about his recovery and what's next in his career.
This is my motto for 2021.
Simplify.
And out with the old and in with the new. The best tricks to selling your old items on sites like Facebook Marketplace so you can walk away with the most money. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday to you. Welcome in here to Studio 1A of the digital broadcast facility at East 13th and Lakeside. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. You know, Jay, last week I had a problem because I forgot my contacts one day, and that was a hot mess. Today, my eyes have been bothering me like crazy, and I grabbed my glasses on the way out the door thinking, you know, I'm just going to be covered no matter what.
Right.
Get to work, contacts drive me crazy, pop them out, and I realize I have 2 pairs of contacts in. I am all over the board anymore, so maybe I'll just wear my glasses for a few days.
Could you see twice as well with 2 sets of contacts?
No, it was awful
Yeah.
and super itchy and gross. So yeah, I'm gonna give my eyes a little bit of a break.
I was just saying before the show, I like the glasses look. I think you should mix them in on a regular basis, and of course, viewers will definitely weigh in with their thoughts. We know we always know they will. We'll talk about the weather in a little bit. I actually sat outside on the porch swing today.
Yep.
It was 52 degrees, and the sun felt warm. It was beautiful.
We hit 59 in downtown Cleveland.
Wow.
Yeah, big time surprise. So that's some good news. Matt Wintz is going to join us in a few minutes with more on that. We begin today, though, with some very promising news on the COVID vaccine front. An FDA committee analyzing the Johnson & Johnson vaccine says it is safe and effective, and they are recommending emergency use authorization. Now, if all that happens, this would be the first single-dose COVID-19 vaccine in the U.S. There are a lot of questions, though, about how good it is compared to Pfizer and Moderna. So, of course, we turn to our own friend, Monica Robbins, senior health correspondent for us here at WKYC. And, Monica, this brings in that whole efficacy discussion.
Hey, I just want to know, Betsy, can you see me?
Yeah, I can. Good? You look beautiful. Can you see? Nice
okay,
and clear.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad your glasses are working. Just wanted to check. Hey, let me preface all of this by saying any vaccine is better than no vaccine. And that's according to all the doctors I've been talking to. Yes, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine showed about a 95% effective rate. And Johnson & Johnson's vaccine was 85% effective at preventing severe disease. That's what really matters. Now, overall, it was 72% effective in the U.S., but it's that preventing severe disease that people need to remember. And to put those numbers aside for just a second, we simply need more vaccine, period. This one is more convenient. Like you said, it's only 1 dose and only requires basic refrigeration, not those frigid freezers the other 2 need. And there were no reports of severe allergic reactions. And on Friday, the FDA will consider whether it should receive that emergency use authorization to add to our armory of COVID fighters.
Tens of thousands of people who've been part of those trials. And so I think while we don't know a lot, the one thing that we absolutely do know is that people who get any vaccine are going to be much better off than people who have no vaccine. And so I think that with the reality of vaccine distribution that is trying to happen as quickly as possible, we want to be mindful and responsible that as soon as we get our opportunity, we get vaccinated.
So remember, the FDA is not required to go along with the advisor's recommendation, but often it does. And if it happens, the J&J shot could get authorization by this weekend. The company says it can have some 20 million doses delivered by the end of March. Remember, that's 20 million people. And that's less, though, than what they originally promised, because right now they are asking for some federal help for equipment and raw materials that are in short supply, and that's affecting everybody, Bets.
All right, well, what about how this one is against the variants that keep cropping up? The South African one, especially, it's causing so much trouble.
Well, data is showing right now that it works against all the variants. And as a matter of fact, referring to the South African one, they stopped using the AstraZeneca vaccine because it wasn't working, and they approved the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and they've already given it to 32,000 of their citizens. So apparently it's better than nothing. Anything right now is better than nothing.
Well, the database continues to grow. Thank you, Monica, for staying up on top of that for us. Jay?
Well, Betsy, first up on our feed at 5. There's an effort underway to save an old building in Cleveland from being demolished. It has quite a history, too. Our January Keaton has been following this story and joins us now. She has more on the deep Cleveland roots of Club Azteca and the fight to save it. January, good Wednesday afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, too. You guys, I'm a West Sider, okay? That's just where I'm from. And I used to pass this building all the time, and I learned so much about it today. First of all, it's 120 years old. It was a social hall for the first Mexican-American immigrants to come to Cleveland and continue to be a staple in the Mexican community here for decades. It really means a lot to folks. Today, Latino community leaders gathered in hopes to save Club Azteca from being torn down. In a letter to the Cleveland Landmarks Commission, organizers underscored the importance of the building to the community and its heritage, writing, quote, "The Cleveland Landmarks Commission must take into consideration the negative impact that this potential demolition would cause to the living Mexican-American community in Cleveland and the erasure of history." Historic preservationist Jessica Wobig, she hopes the Landmarks Commission will at least talk about it.
It's very important to save and to ensure that there is some discussion regarding its significance considered before demolition would be discussed.
Now, contractors hope to turn this space into a mixed-use development here on Detroit Avenue in Gordon Square, complete with retail space. They're talking office space, 122 apartments. You can go to our website. We have an actual picture of the plans there. So far, no date has been set for the demolition, but we will, of course, keep you posted on this one. Live in Cleveland, January Keaton, 3 News.
All right, January, it's certainly easy to see why that would be so important to many of Cleveland's residents. January, thanks.
Absolutely.
The principal of Solon High School is on paid administrative leave this evening. Not many details have been released on this story, but the district says they're working with Solon police as they look into a concern over Aaron Short's conduct alleged to have occurred more than 10 years ago. The district says it takes this matter seriously and immediately initiated an investigation. Late last night, Short released a statement which in part reads, "I unequivocally and categorically deny the false and defamatory allegation that has been made against me," adding she looks forward to returning to her position as principal at Solon High School.
Our Keep the Lights On CLE campaign continues tonight. And as we told you on Monday, WKYC Studios is working all month long to raise money to help pay the utility bills of our neighbors who are in need. 3 News investigator Rachel Polanski is leading our team coverage on this, and she's going to introduce you to a Cleveland woman who is struggling to keep the lights on.
So you can look through the pages.
69-year-old Gwendolyn Garth wears many hats.
And see, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Artist, activist.
I'm doing a lot of creative journaling.
And one of millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet in the wake of COVID-19.
I called the gas company and they said that I'm no longer eligible for the PIP program or the HEAP program because I have been late payments. You got cost recovery charges.
While Garth has been able to get some help from PIP and other government assistance programs, finances remain a major challenge. And right now, she owes $8,000 in past due gas and electric bills.
They automatically put you on the Payment Plus plan, which is like a third of your original bill. And mine, for me, it was $900 and X amount of dollars.
It was $900 and X number of dollars a month.
Yeah. At that moment, I felt sheer defeat.
Garth lives on $444 from Social Security each month, plus whatever she can make from her artwork. Her utilities have been disconnected in the past, but right now she says she's getting by. As with any climb out of debt, she has a long road ahead.
I will not be in the dark again, and that's metaphorically and literally. If any utility have to go, it'll be the gas.
And Garth is far from alone. Since the start of the pandemic, nearly 15,000 Northeast Ohioans applied for assistance through Cleveland nonprofit CHN. And while the affordable housing developer has given out $12 million to 5,500 applicants, the reality is the demand for help far outweighs the available funding. It's part of the reason why we launched our Keep the Lights On campaign.
It provides for flexibility for us to address more needs. So we only have a limit. We only have a certain pot of dollars that are provided by the government. And second, that those dollars are not as flexible as many people will need and don't cover our entire viewing area. So what that allows for us to do is to fill those gaps within the system.
Well, we launched on Monday and we are off to a great start. We already hit $10,000, but we are still a long way away from our goal of $30,000. That's where you come in. So if you want to donate, you can head to the website right now. It's keepthelightsoncle.org. Again, that's keepthelightsoncle.org. You can donate right now, and every nickel that we raise will go directly toward paying the utility bills of Northeast Ohioans. I also want to mention that CHN, our partner in this, they will be vetting all of the applicants to make sure that this is truly going to those who need it. And your money will go directly to the utility provider, not the person in need, so you know that your money is going to pay someone's utility bill. Betsy?
So important right now. Thank you so much, Rachel, for keeping up on this. Jay?
Betsy, I know I speak for you too. I'm so proud to work at Channel 3, but this is just one of the many reasons why. That is an important project, and I'm so glad we're involved. Well, we know the pandemic has hit restaurants and bars particularly hard, but think about this for a second. Just as their business models have changed dramatically, it has also greatly affected local musicians who, remember, rely on these venues to perform their craft and their work. Well, a mix of local musicians have banded together to raise money for local venues. They've collaborated on a song. It's called When the Lights Come On Again. Here's a clip.
When the lights come on again. When the lights come on again.
It's a catchy tune, and now I find myself, I listened to it earlier today, I've been humming it since I listened to it. The rights to the song itself, as well as distribution, will be given to the nonprofit Cleveland Rocks. They hope that the song gets Ohioans to donate to the Save CLE Venues Fund, which will benefit struggling independent live music venues in the greater Cleveland area. Now, according to their website, the goal is to raise $10,000. We have the information on how you can help if you'd like to donate. It's right now up on the bottom of your screen. Betsy, I watched the whole video. It's about 5 minutes. It's very cool. More than a dozen area musicians took part in the song and video. Their hope is that they can raise $10,000. I checked the website just before I came out to do the show. So far, they've already raised $3,900. So they're 39% of the way there, which is a nice start.
And remember, when you're doing these things, you don't have to give a lot. Like $5-10 goes
whatever
a long
you can
way
afford.
when everybody does it. It's a good thing.
Yep, we all help each other out for sure. Okay, next on What's New. Before we know it, spring will be here. It felt like it was here today, but living in this pandemic may put your plans on hold for the second straight year. We're going to take a look into how some top name destinations are getting ready for this year's vacation season.
And speaking of travel, Stevie Wonder says he plans to leave the U.S., where his new destination is said to be, and why the move. That's ahead in Pop Break.
Okay. Okay, 2:30, taking you to break. Got it.
Well, it's that time when, in a normal year, all eyes would be on the upcoming spring break, right? Well, after a year at home, so many of us are ready just to get out of town. And now that vaccinations are in full swing and COVID numbers are coming down, travel agencies are reporting new signs of life and people are booking trips again. Now, a lot of people have their eyes set on Florida. That's pretty normal. But what will you find if you head to the Sunshine State this year? Our Manny Abraham says, you may want to think twice.
Activity is already picking up on Miami Beach's Ocean Drive, welcoming vacationers and spring breakers.
I just want to be outside, and when you're here, it's like,
But there's concerns from city leaders. Last year, people flocked to the area for spring break before the beaches closed due to COVID-19. Could there be another situation like it?
Yeah, I can see a situation. Look, listen, you can't let people get hurt. It's that simple. You can't put people in.
The mayor of Miami Beach isn't clear about whether he has the legal authority to close the beach. NBC News asked the governor's office for clarification, but didn't hear back. There are some restrictions in place in Miami Beach, including a midnight curfew.
Don't be foolish. Don't come here if you think this is an anything goes environment. We will arrest you. We will ruin your time here.
And no alcohol on the beach.
People end up drinking too much, and then they act in ways that they shouldn't. So we want to prevent that.
But in places farther north, like Broward County and Fort Lauderdale, they're still mulling over a midnight curfew.
In terms of a curfew, definitely as a last resort for a limited time, as limited as possible.
Now, the CDC still recommends people avoid traveling during this time, but they do offer some guidance on their website if you need to travel, including to look at things like getting tested, avoiding crowded spaces, and of course, wearing your mask. I'm Manny Abraham, 3 News.
So check this out, Jay. Last year, according to ustravel.org, travel spending totaled $679 billion. That may sound amazing, right? Oh, they're fine. Keep in mind that is a 42% drop from 2019. That's almost half. International travel spending fell 76%. So once the cuffs are off, I have a feeling a lot of folks are going to have some money to spend on vacation.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, here's what the worst part about the fact that we might be going into a second spring travel vacation season with nothing to look forward to. Remember at the beginning, and this was a national thing, not just Ohio, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And everybody's like, well, yeah, we could do 2 weeks. That's great.
Right.
And that's turned into 54 weeks to flatten the curve. And I think that was just a product of we didn't know.
Yep.
You know, it was early on. Remember early on, too, they were saying don't wear masks. That can make it worse. Remember that?
Yep.
So we've learned a lot during this. I will say, though, we're a lot closer to the end than the beginning. You know, and that's the silver lining.
Just be patient a little bit longer. And boy, with days like today, who needs to leave?
We don't need Florida.
It's almost 60 degrees in downtown Cleveland. Certainly feeling nice and toasty and warm out there for us.
I can't believe that it was almost 60 degrees. I knew it was warm. I didn't know it was almost 60. Matt, here's your weather word today, tropical. Just use it. Just say it, even if it doesn't make any sense. Just use it because I need to hear it.
Sure, tropical. There you go. All right, let's get on to the forecast, everybody. Yeah, I know it doesn't. It certainly felt like it today. I made my first meme. I'm getting older. I don't make these things. But what do you think about this? It's all about perspective, right? Today's 53 felt amazing. At least that's what it was at Hopkins. I know downtown it was warmer. And when it's 53 in the fall, do we not feel like that? I mean, seriously, it's just all about how we view things right around here. Also, it has to do with south and north wind and all the moisture we have, but don't think about that. We've got a cooling process going on right now, though. We had 70s as far as southern areas of Ohio and Kentucky. How about that? As we have this little blip of warm air come in out ahead of the system that we were talking about last night would be pushing in the afternoon. It certainly is. Temperatures are on the way down. You can see we're still holding on to some 50s, but a little bit cooler off towards the west, and it's all about wind direction. It was out of the southwest earlier today. Now it's veered off towards the west. That's still kind of in between wind, but once we shift this baby around to the northwest later on this evening, that's when temps will start to drop. So back to reality tonight. You can see the clouds build back in here. We've already had some showers out there as well. Temperatures will be back in the 30s, even upper 20s by tomorrow morning. You can see some of those showers that developed. We had the clear blue skies earlier, but these clouds just really filled in as this frontal boundary pushed in. Not a whole lot in terms of rain right now. A little bit of rain down towards the south, but you can see all that tropical air that we have is now being pushed down towards the south. Yes, that wasn't that hard, Jade. You can see off towards the north, everything kind of coming at us from the northwest. May even see a few lake effect snow showers overnight tonight. Doesn't look like a big deal. I don't want to say that after a day like this, but you can see the cold air spilling over the lakes. And we're going to settle in back to that tomorrow. But then Friday, everything will kind of flip back around. We'll be back to some of the warming winds again. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. There's the 30s tonight. Couple snowflakes out there. Not expecting anything in the way of accumulation or anything like that. It will be a little raw tomorrow morning. A gusty northwest wind. Temps in the 20s. But by afternoon, we do clear things out. Temperatures are going to be hard-pressed to reach the mid and upper 30s, I think, tomorrow afternoon. But as I mentioned, that wind, see it up in the corner there, switches back towards the south again. That'll set the stage for a beautiful Friday around here. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Yeah, cooler tomorrow, but Friday mostly sunny. Models saying low 40s. We're going upper 40s at this point. And look at the weekend, into the 50s. We'll have a couple showers around early Saturday, a couple scattered showers on Sunday. Then next week, hey, not too bad. We'll take the 40s after this. I've got a really good look at how much winter we have left coming up in the next update. But until then, we'll send it to break. And on the other side, we'll have Pop Break.
It is time for our daily dose of celebrity news. Stevie Wonder moving out of the U.S. Plus, Chrissy Teigen has asked President Biden to unfollow her on Twitter. Kiara Cotton has all the details in today's Pop Break.
We have a nation that is not respected by other nations as it used to be.
The legendary Stevie Wonder is not happy with the state of the country. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, the 70-year-old award-winning musician revealed that he plans to relocate to Ghana in West Africa in hopes of shielding his legacy from racial injustice. According to reports, this is something Wonder has been considering for many years. Be careful what you wish for. Chrissy Teigen is now asking President Joe Biden to unfollow her on Twitter. In a tweet she wrote, "In order for me to flourish as me, I must ask you to please, Lord, unfollow me. I love you. It's not you, it's me." The request comes just a month after the 35-year-old model and author became one of 13 accounts followed by the president. But luckily for Teigen, her wish was granted yesterday afternoon when Biden or someone on his staff hit the unfollow button. She celebrated with an authentic tweet filled with expletives saying she's free. Did someone say reunion? Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo are back together again, and it's giving us all the feels. It's been nearly 20 years since the 13 going on 30 stars won the hearts of so many as best friends turned lovers. The two reunited on the set of The Addams Project, where they played the parents of Ryan Reynolds' character. Ruffalo shared the moment on social media with the caption, "Reconnecting with an old pal. Anyone know where we can get Razzles in Canada?" Now, I don't know if you can still get Razzles anywhere, but what I do know is that I'll be in search of wishing dust. So hopefully one day I'll be 30, flirty, and thriving too. Back to you guys.
Our eternal 13-year-old here in the studio,
That's
also
right.
known as Jay, says, yes, you can still get Razzles for sure.
Had them last week.
Look at this. This is today's worth a watch. And you thrill seekers will love this. This guy's crazy. If you're afraid of heights, a little bit of a warning for you. French mountain biker here, Antoni Valloni, taking his talents to the top of a bridge arch in the city of Grenoble. There you saw it. Look, he's going right over the top. Barely any distance between him and the edge. The 28-year-old pretty much does these thrill-seeking stunts as a living, and he made it all the way to the other side. Freestyle.
Wow.
That takes some skill.
I have no fear of heights. That video freaks me out. It does.
I'm good with heights, but that's a little extreme. Just, ugh. All right, anywho, we still have plenty to come for you here on What's New. Golfer Tiger Woods is on the road to recovery. A doctor is going to join us live to talk about what's next for Woods and his career after yesterday's crash.
Not using it? Maybe you should sell it. We're going to tell you how to make your old items stand out as you try to make money off of them on sites like Facebook Marketplace.
Plus, social media drama. No.
What?
But this is caused by a football star, therefore it's a little bit different. This time it's J.J. Watt and his tweeting. We'll have details coming up.
I gotta say, he's playing this for everything he can.
Of course he is.
Okay, recently our Stephanie Haney discovered today's Save Our Sauce feature. It's Al's Deli, and it's right on East 9th Street. You can get everything from crispy falafel to salads with homemade dressing. It's a family-owned spot. And the family is also getting ready to reopen Zaytoon. That's their other downtown restaurant in the Theater District. Check out this restaurant and more from our Doug Tratner at WKYC.com/SaveOurSauce. We'll be right back.
I can hear you, Cleveland. How are you doing? You bet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test, test, test. That work for you? All right, thanks.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we welcome you into the second half hour of What's New. Happy Hump Day. Temperatures in the high 50s downtown Cleveland. Betsy, it felt like a spring day here. It really did.
I looked out the kitchen window, and in my neighbor's yard, the daffodils are coming up.
Wow. Okay,
Little
that's early.
daffodils.
That's early. And it's that time of the show again to remind everybody at home that we are now officially just 23 days to the start of spring. There's my favorite graphic of all time. As Betsy looks on, as the squirrel jumps on my shoulder.
It's like I'm stalking you or something in the background. We're going to come up with a whole storyline for the next 23 days of exactly what is going on in this graphic.
Well, I love it, and I hope you're as excited as I am that we're just 23 days away. We're starting this half hour with our top talker, Tiger Woods. Big story. He's recovering from that horrible car crash that we saw yesterday in Southern California. Late this afternoon, the LA sheriff said Woods likely will not face any charges because it appears this was just an accident. He showed no signs of being drunk or under the influence of drugs at the time. Both of his legs were injured in this crash. His ankle severely injured. NBC News senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres joins us now. Doctor, thank you so much. It's always good to have you on. I know it's tough to give an opinion on a patient that you haven't seen, but clearly what you know of the injuries, tell us how serious this is.
And Jay, each one of these injuries to his right leg are serious by themselves, but combining three even more so. And essentially it can be grouped into three different injuries. One are the long bones, the tibia and the fibula. Those are fractured in multiple sites. They put a rod in there, did some surgery to clean out the breaks through the skin that happened to prevent infection. Then you move to the foot and ankle, multiple fractures there as well. Pins and plates and screws were placed there. That can cause some mobility issues going forward. And yesterday the big emergency was the amount of pressure he had in that lower leg. It's called compartment syndrome. And if that's not taken care of very quickly, that can lead to circulation problems, that can lead to nerve injury, and that could actually lead to amputations. Luckily, they got to it quickly enough. And so now he's in that recovery stage. But again, each one of these by themselves serious, all three, even more so, Jay.
Well, obviously, he had some of the best doctors in the world, UCLA, a level 1 trauma center. After the surgery, what does the typical rehabilitation process look like? I know it's tough to put a timetable on it, but he's got a long road ahead of him, doesn't he?
He does have a long road ahead of him, and right now they're focusing on that post-surgical recovery. That's usually within a couple of days, making sure infection doesn't set in, making sure that all the hardware they put in there is where it's supposed to be, and it's starting to set in as well. And then beyond that, he's got about 8 weeks of recovery, making sure the bones heal as well as they can, the skin, the muscles, the tissues all heal. And then after that, so we're talking 2 months in, he's now got months of rehabilitation going on and going forward. The main goal here with the doctors, based on the severity of the injuries, is to get him to the point where he can walk again, get him to the point where he can do those things on a daily basis that he needs to do or wants to do, like play with his children, play casual golf, those types of things, Jay.
Well, you mentioned casual golf, and I know the sports fan wants to know desperately, will we ever see Tiger Woods in a competitive golf situation again, based on what you know? What are the chances?
And Jay, put in perspective, the best case scenario at this point, the doctors looking at it are saying, okay, we want him to walk. We want him to be able to do those things on a daily basis that he needs or wants to do, to play with his family, to play with his friends, do those things. The super scenario is getting back to that competitive golf. That's going to be a long struggle for him because not only does he have these right leg injuries, but he's also had 5 back surgeries. He's had 4 surgeries to his left knee. And he's 45 years old. All those complicate the recovery process. But this is Tiger Woods we're talking about, and he has surprised everybody in the past with making these comebacks time and time again.
Well, we saw less than 2 years ago, he won again at Augusta National. Many thought he would never win another major. Dr. Torres, thank you very much. I know you'll have more on Tiger's condition coming up tonight on Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Now let's get you caught up on 3 things you need to know here at the bottom of the hour. An Ohio Department of Natural Resources officer died last night. He was responding to a drowning in Highland County's Rocky Fork State Park Lake near Cincinnati when he suffered a medical emergency. He was searching for 2 teenagers who had fallen through the ice. The 13-year-old boy pulled himself out of the water. He's okay. but a 16-year-old girl died at the hospital. Please, folks, stay off the ice. New information on the COVID vaccine front for you now. The Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine is one step closer to getting into the arms of Americans. This morning, the FDA announced that the vaccine is effective and safe, and they are endorsing it for emergency use. Next up, an independent panel will review the vaccine, and then the FDA will make its final decision. If it's fully approved, Johnson & Johnson says 20 million shots would be available by the end of March, with an additional 100 million over the summer.
And here's a look at our daily coronavirus numbers. New cases down more than 900 from yesterday. In fact, we are more than 1,000 below our 21-day average. Positivity rate, though, a little bit of a blip here. We had been in the 5% range, which is where the World Health Organization is looking for transmission to be. We jumped up to 6.1% today, but our hospitalizations down again. Just 1,338 COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals statewide. And vaccinations, well, today we officially pushed over the 1.5 million mark. 12.84% of Ohioans now have at least the first vaccine in their bodies. And I understand, Betsy, your mom, will be joining that number very soon.
Saturday.
Great news.
Thanks to your text to me this morning. We got her in. Very
I'm so glad that she's scheduled.
Yeah, thank you. All right, coming up for us here on What's New, you know, when the pandemic started, a lot of us purged. Well, now that we've been living with all the stuff that we have left, we're ready to purge again. But don't just toss it, sell it. An expert is going to show us how to get the most for our stuff.
Plus, we're all following J.J. Watt. What's he going to do? Where's he going to go? And then we get this sort of cryptic tweet. It's causing quite a bit of speculation about where he's going next. We're going to find out what it all means. Clicking in Cleveland is coming up next. And Matt Wintz, thank you very much. A gorgeous day today.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jay. I'm sure I won't hear the same accolades tomorrow. But a live look CSU cam right now, just a gorgeous end to the day outside. We do have those clouds building in. What I want to talk about after the break, we've got our snowfall so far this year, obviously a little bit below average in Cleveland. Akron, you're above average. Erie, yeah, you're a little bit below average. But how much more of this do we typically see? We'll talk about it on the other side of the break.
Do we want to talk about it? That's a whole different question for sure. All right, changing directions now in today's Black History Moment. We're highlighting the first Black Ohioan to serve as deputy sheriff. Here's Romney Smith with his story.
Jeremiah A. Brown was the first Black man in Cuyahoga County to get appointed as a deputy sheriff. But let's backtrack a bit. Brown worked on steamboats in Pittsburgh growing up and even claimed he was friends with Mark Twain. He moved to Cleveland with his family to get into politics, but he got into law enforcement first. He first worked as a bailiff of the Cuyahoga County Probate Court, and he was appointed to be deputy sheriff, the first Black Ohioan to hold that position. After that, his career transitioned into politics, and he was elected to the Ohio State House of Representatives in 1855, where he worked to repeal Ohio's black laws and is remembered most for his anti-discriminating insurance bill.
Hello, Al. Today we are talking about a new eagle egg sighting in a nest in Avon Lake. Riveting. Riveting stuff. Yeah, it is a pretty big deal. They had one last year, so it seems to be a regular thing for these eagles. Yeah, it is cool they've got the live stream going up. Yep, you are correct.
Anyway, if you could train everyone, it'd be great. It's not that to worry about the forecast rather than something.
All right, Matt, we are very popular today. Things have gone in our favor. People are smiling, 5-finger waves, high fives, right? We're feeling good. What about tomorrow?
Yeah. Betsy, I'm off the next 2 days. That's not my problem.
It's so unfair. Who does the scheduling around here? Oh, wait, that's me.
Yeah.
I got to do
You and
better.
Standards have fun with the emails. I know you do. That's okay. I'll tell you what, Betsy, officially today, boy, we were calling for 50, a little bit above, and boy, 53 downtown. How about that? Or actually, you said 59 downtown, a sign of the urban heat island down there, right? All that pavement and concrete stores that heat. Over at Hopkins, it was 53 today. So certainly above average territory. Just anywhere you slice it, just gorgeous, right? Looking back at reality, though, tonight we're going to be back in the 30s. Those clouds are around. The wind shift is the big thing. We go west to northwest tonight. Keep in mind, if you've got any boating interest or anything out on Lake Erie, that ice has shifted out with that southerly breeze. With the westerly wind and then the northwest wind, that ice is going to come back. So if you live along the lake shore, you'll see that ice come back. That is dangerous if you have any boating interest whatsoever for any of those vessels out on Lake Erie. So keep that in mind. Dangerous boating conditions tonight and tomorrow. In fact, pretty much over the next couple weeks. We did have a couple showers with that frontal boundary. Not a lot in terms of rain right now. We may kick off a couple flurries or showers tonight as this secondary boundary kind of comes through. That's the one that's going to change our winds around. Maybe a little lake effect around tonight. Doesn't look like a big issue. But the big thing that you'll feel is the colder air already spilling across areas of Michigan. Again, we're back to reality tomorrow, but compared to the last few weeks, we can handle this. This isn't going to be too bad. National Design Mart Hour by our forecast: clouds, maybe a couple flurries or sprinkles tonight. This is your wake-up temperature tomorrow morning, 20s inland, 30s elsewhere. We're going to start tomorrow with some clouds, but watch how they erode. I think we've got pretty nice-looking sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be cooler with a brisk northwest wind. A couple clouds floating in here tomorrow night, but all in all, not a bad Thursday, just a little bit cooler. All right, I crunched the numbers. How much percentage-wise of snow do we have left from this day on? Well, it's about 26% of winter left, right? So we still average about 18 inches now through May. Keep that in mind, we're not done. Will we get more of these hints of spring? Absolutely. So we still have a little ways to go for maybe those folks that just moved here. So let's look ahead at those snow chances. Here's our next storm system. This will move in after a gorgeous Friday. It'll move in Saturday. Looks like early in the day with some showers as that heads by. That'll clear out. There'll be a secondary wave that may bring some more rain into our southern communities on Sunday. And then things kind of quiet down behind that before more rain comes our way next week. But look at the snowfall over the next 7 days. This is what the Euro's saying. Not a lot. In fact, not at all here across northeast Ohio. We'll continue to have that melt. Then you can see, yeah, the GFS says the same thing. And the jet stream, I'm going to let this run over the next week or so. We stay right in that green territory. That means not too hot, not too cold, kind of like Goldilocks porridge, I guess. I think that's the right nursery rhyme. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Pretty nice day on Friday. Upper 40s, sunshine. Weekend, we hit the 50s with some rain showers around. And the next week, we stay in the 40s. So, Jay, I don't know if you know your nursery rhymes. Is that Goldilocks is the one with the not too hot, not too cold, right?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not good at that at all. So.
Well, I'm not an expert either, but I do know that one. All right, Matt. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Enjoy your 2 days off, by the way. Okay.
I will.
Right now it is time to see what is clicking in Cleveland, and for that we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a good Wednesday afternoon to you. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful weather today, at least a little bit.
I did, Jay, and I can also confirm it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You guys got it right with the porridge. On point. Now, speaking of other animals, we don't want to count our eagles before they're hatched, but there is a new eagle egg sighting. Here it is, right here. You can see it at around 7 a.m. on this live stream of the eagle nest that's right outside of Redwood Elementary School in Avon Lake. The parent eagles, Stars and Stripes, had several eaglets hatch last April. We've got about 35 days to wait for this one, and you can keep checking in on the stream at WKYC.com. Football fans have been having a lot of fun trying to decode J.J. Watt's tweets. Since the Houston Texans agreed to release him, people have been anxiously awaiting him making a decision on where he'll sign, but he says he's taken his time. And then yesterday he tweeted this: "Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell." And people started jumping in looking for hidden meaning, tweeting that this means he'll go to the New Orleans Saints. a really confusing guess about the Dallas Cowboys, and then something about his mom and the Green Bay Packers. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers came up where his two brothers play, but here's the only one that matters. This one that assumes he's visiting the Great Lakes Science Center here in Cleveland when he posted that tweet. Makes sense to me. And JJ, you could really bone up on your biology here. Just saying. And it was a gorgeous day in Northeast Ohio today, so we asked all of you how you were enjoying it. Take a look at these three kiddos out in the sunshine, still bundled up, but enjoying being out in the yard. This photo comes from Terry Garrett McFerrin, who says she was letting the kids soak up the sun before their nap. When I stepped out this morning with Winston, it was 54 degrees downtown. We were bundled up. I was hot, but we took a little extra time with our walk, Jay and Betsy, and you know what I did to celebrate? I came inside and I turned my heat down to 74 degrees.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, we know you keep it at like 76 or something crazy like that. Hey,
yeah.
A quick thing on J.J. Watt. This is just my theory. The last word in his tweet was sell, C-E-L-L. In that word is C-L-E. Just saying. Maybe.
It's out there.
Also boding well for us.
Yeah. Who knows?
Boding well for us here in Cleveland.
I like our
I'm gonna say
chances. Thanks, Steph.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting, Jay. Okay, let's see what's going on. Next for us, we're clearing out the clutter, everybody. An expert shows us the best ways to make serious cash when selling old items online.
And a popular travel spot is frozen over. Look at that. We're going to check out the Winter Wonderland. It's our Show Us Something Good. It's beautiful, and it's coming up.
Well, some are calling it the pandemic purge. I've had at least 2 of these taking place, and with people spending more time at home, they're realizing how much stuff they have that they really don't need. Some are donating, others are just pitching, but consumer investigator Danielle Serino shows how to make a clean sweep and end up potentially with a lot of cash.
This is cute.
Think you've got stuff?
This is my housewares department.
Mary Therese admits she's a hoarder, albeit an organized one.
Hurts my heart to throw things in the landfill, so I kind of like to hang on to things until I can find a home for them.
But she knows it's time to unload.
This is my motto for 2021.
Simplify. We paired her with Leslie Burns, a realtor who learned how to declutter.
They had so many items to sell.
In fact, she's an organized hoarder too.
Keepsake items we no longer use. Why do we have that?
We knew they were a match.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Leslie likes Facebook Marketplace for sellers and buyers.
I can search for a sideboard and dressers will come up that don't even have the word sideboard in it, but they know what you're looking for.
Our focus, Mary's KitchenAid mixer.
I try to start with bigger items first, things that are going to get the most money.
But Leslie says, don't just take a picture, post it, and expect it to sell. You need to stage the item.
Like boots like this. I would stuff these probably with newspaper to give them a full look.
For the mixer, that meant cleaning and setting it with a nice background.
If you look at the pictures and it doesn't look amazing, you're going to move on to the next one.
So make sure those photos are picture perfect.
I feel like the more someone can visualize the item, the better. I would take a picture from that angle. I would turn it, take a picture from this angle.
Then be creative and detailed in your description. Like, don't forget measurements or sizes with clothing. Mary called her mixer vintage.
I might even go online to look up a brand new KitchenAid mixer and use some of their description and see what they call these pieces.
Finally, price to sell. Mary thought she could get $20 a piece for these pillows, but you can get pillows at TJ's for less.
Marketplace shoppers, they're looking for a deal.
So check other sellers' prices.
Here's one that looks similar. KitchenAid mixer, $159.
But I can always come down.
For big items, you might offer delivery, then add that to the price. And post on multiple marketplace groups to increase chances of a sale.
And I got cash in my mailbox, $15.
Turns out, Mary was a magnet for buyers. In less than a month, she sold the mixer and 45 other items for $831, which she used for this trip to Florida.
You know, now my sister-in-law, my friends, they're all like, show me how to do it. We want to do this too. So I don't know, I might have to have a consultation firm.
And she's learned the art of the deal.
I hit a top that got viewed 190 times, but I didn't get an offer. I changed something in the title and then boom. A day later, it was sold.
But Mary's got a long way to go.
What's your goal with all of that stuff?
To make room for more stuff. No, it is just to, just minimize.
There are many places to sell your stuff, including consignment shops, but you'll make the most from sites where you list the items yourself. I put links to both on our website. I'm Danielle Serino, 3 News.
Now, I have bought and sold on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and the like. And I can tell you, especially if you are selling, be patient. You're listing. People are supposed to come pick it up. They don't show up. It could be 2 or 3 or 4 people down the list. You just have to keep trying.
Yeah, when selling, this is a tip. You got to be careful of the scam people that are out there because they'll say, yeah, I want to buy it. I will send you a check. And then you start to think, no, that just doesn't sound. I don't even reply to those people. Nope, I'm good, thanks.
PPU, porch pickup. And put the cash. They tell you where to put the cash. That's
you speak the language. You know the codes.
I have purchased probably a third of the furniture in my house on Facebook Marketplace.
Hey, you're thrifty.
I love it.
And that's smart.
I'm cheap.
All right. Hey, it's freezing outside, literally in some places. We're talking about one huge travel destination that's now actually partially frozen over. This is great.
It is cool. Then on What Matters Most at 6, a local principal placed on leave. We'll have the latest.
As we go to break, today, Betsy, is the anniversary of the United States' first ever rocket launch to reach outer space. What year did that happen? There are your choices. We'll give you the answer after the break.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon's microphone. We're talking about a Solon school principal on paid administrative leave this evening.
Hi, Al. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, you sound very clear. Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Hey, Meg. Hey, Al. Tonight we talk about the Solon principle.
Hello, Al. Hi. The FDA is not required to go along with this advisory, but usually.
I'm coming. I know you saw me walk up to the camera, sir. I'm coming. It was wrapped around, the cord was wrapped around it.
Me later. All right, before the break, we asked you which year was it that the U.S. first launched a rocket into outer space. Betsy, you want to give it a run?
This is where I get all my missions mixed up. I would have said 61. But
okay, the answer was
49,
1949. We were into the space race a little before both of us were born. Okay, many of us have taken a trip to Niagara Falls, but it's very rare you get to see it like this. It's partially frozen over right now, both the U.S. and the Canadian sides. And yes, this happens, but let's face it, who's taking a trip there this time of year? So just enjoy the beauty of that. And by the way, the rainbow was a nice touch too. Look at how gorgeous, Bets.
Bad day on the Maid of the Mist. Good day to be on the shore.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going on the Maid of the Mist right about now. All right, that's it. We're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5, and we invite you to join us then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Principal on leave. We dig into the details regarding the investigation of a Northeast Ohio school administrator.
There is no other building in Cleveland that really encapsulates the Mexican immigrant presence.
Historic conservation. The fight to save a building with deep roots in the Hispanic community in Cleveland, and why the city wants to